What's up guys, and welcome back to Graphic Designer Pro. In this video we'll be running through how we go about picking typefaces and fonts for our design projects. You can also download a free template file from the description below that you can use to follow along with this video. Okay, I'm going to pass you over to Rory now, who will take you through the process.
Thanks Ross. So selecting typefaces, and more specifically fonts, is a crucial part of any design project and can make all the difference in how well it performs and how professional it looks. Conversely, poor font choice can easily ruin an otherwise good design. Let's run through some key things to consider that should help you narrow down and select the right fonts for your work. First of all, and it may seem obvious, but always think about the overarching style or message of the design you're working on. If the typeface you select doesn't complement the style of the design, then it's going to complicate and weaken it. This is especially crucial if it's for a client whose brand values and image could be impacted. Simply put, serif typefaces tend to work much better for more traditional, formal or elegant looking designs, while sans serif typefaces will generally suit a modern, clean and approachable style. Script, display and generally more decorative typefaces also have their place depending on the style you're going for. However, keep in mind that these tend to only really work with larger or more simplified text, like headings for example. Another aspect to think about is how text heavy your design is, or more specifically, how many different categories of text there are. If you're dealing with multiple types of headings, body copy, captions, footers and more, then choosing a typeface with a decent variety of fonts is important. You'll be able to create clear contrast between sections of text, and creating a visual hierarchy will be much easier. On that note, picking typefaces with web compatible versions will also ensure consistency. Now, one of the most important things to think about when dealing with any type in your designs is readability. We often see new designers selecting fonts for their interesting aesthetic over how readable they are, but this can be far more damaging to the design than selecting something more refined. Unless you're creating something very abstract where text legibility is not crucial in how well the design functions, then you really want to prioritize how easy a font is to read in its application. For example, a large heading that's purpose is to draw the eye of the reader quickly can benefit from a heavier font, and even something with slightly more complexity to make it stand out more. Small body copy on the other hand needs to be easy to read at smaller sizes and as large paragraphs of text. Therefore, a thinner, more traditional font will have an advantage. Ultimately, choosing an appropriate font weight is arguably the most important aspect to get right when it comes to readability. You also want to account for the complexity of a type design. If it features lots of flourishes or fine details, then this may cause it to become illegible at certain scales, and if being used in an already busy design, could make it cluttered looking and difficult to navigate. It's always a good idea to inspect how well designed a typeface or font is. By this, I mean the technical details of it. Are the line weights and proportions consistent throughout all characters? Do the serifs match? Are there any repeating details in each letter? Paying close attention to the finer details can be the difference in how professional your design will look. Poorly designed fonts can make your work look amateur. Another detail to pay attention to is the default kerning of a font. All fonts are kerned slightly differently, some better than others. Poor kerning can again make a design look unprofessional or simply unreadable if it's bad enough. It's also worth mentioning that you really don't need to use new typefaces for every single project. In fact, a lot of designers will stick to a library of typefaces that they know and trust will cover most types of design thrown their way, making this process even easier. But that's it for our method and thought process behind selecting typefaces and fonts for our design projects. If you have any questions on this topic or just graphic design in general, then please feel free to let us know down in the comments below.